Are you thinking of a career in science? Do you know that many universities expect you to have a postdoc experience before applying? Do you know how many years you are expected to be a postdoc? Do you know which lab or research group to join? Stay with me. Alison McClure describes how she secured her first postdoctoral position and shares her thoughts on how laboratories can attract candidates. As you come close to finishing your PhD, and I suggest you plan 2 years in advance, you need to think of an extra year to write a few papers and conduct a thorough search for a postdoc position. First step in this process is to decide that you actually want to land an academic career, or at least give it a chance. To do so, you need to join a lab that would help you land that aspired position. Some might find it difficult to decide at that early stage, as they might not really know what their strengths are, whether they like teaching at all, and whether lab life is what they want to pursue at all. There are other options out there. Therefore, you really need to know what you want to achieve and think about other options. Consult with family and friends. In my study of doctoral candidates, for example, I found that female PhDs were a bit apprehensive about espousing high future expectations. Some are still uncertain about the balance between family and work, and some lack self-confidence. But if you decide to try applying later for a tenure track, you probably will need a postdoc position that would support you. In areas like physics, biology, and neurobiology, this is a must. In economics, less so. The next step is to identify the field in which you want to work. You can also ask yourself which techniques and laboratory equipment will put you on a competitive start once you finish your postdoc. Consult with your advisors and other faculty members around. Speak to people at conferences. You might learn that you need to change course from the things you've been engaged in your PhD study. In my studies, Anna Stansbury says, I found many people moving from one area to another to expand their skill set. I too find many people moving away from the PhD topic to a new area in my own studies. True, some postdocs move on to a tenure track position without changing their path, and some who make a complete break might get stuck or prolong their path. But the more you learn, the more techniques and with different advisor you get, the better you would position yourself. Read stuff that is not directly related to your current lab or research area and expand your horizons. And as you make your decision, start applying for a postdoc. It would be smart to have a list of optional labs in different universities, possibly in different countries, but as always, only in top institutes and with renowned scientists. With big shots, highly cited scientists. Visit department websites to find them. Exchange emails with current postdocs in the lab. Get all the information you can get about the funding situation of the lab for the coming years, and also ask about the person and personality of the people involved. After all, you might spend a few years there, and those relationships might actually last a lifetime of collaboration. If you get a few positive suggestions, you might find it difficult to narrow down the list. Your top priority should be the science. How good is the lab? What are its merits, and how renowned is the director? Speak with your PhD advisor. Consult with members of your committee. They may provide you with important advice. For example, my PhD advisor told me that I should present my study in the new lab, and I did, and it went very well. Another faculty member told me that I should network with PhDs and postdocs there, because they would become my allies for my entire career. He was not wrong, or actually, he was right. People ask how many places one should apply for. Previously, we could target 2 or 3 places. Today, it is customary to get to close to 10 applications. There is no shame in getting rejections. All you need is one good place. When applying, read carefully about each lab and tailor your letter to its specific area. Do not use a standard template. Be personal and scientifically accurate, showing that you are a good match for the lab. that you bring some added value. You are invited, prepare for the interview. I will discuss the interview and the campus visit in subsequent videos. But remember that today some lab directors might use Zoom calls, others might actually invite you for a campus visit. Plan for both options and try to get the second, the campus visit. At the end of this uncomfortable period, you may get several offers. Choose wisely while considering the advantage of each offer. Your lab directors would become your future recommenders for a tenure-track position. Ask about their position in the discipline. Their esteem will influence yours. It is what we call social capital. When making your decision, consider the employment contract. Is it for 1 year with possible extension or for 3 years upfront? Aspire to stable long-term contracts. You probably know that studies take time, experiments take time, and publications take time. Try securing a long-term contract, for otherwise you will have to constantly look for extending your postdoc in other labs and institutes. This is not effective. And remember, no one died by negotiating. If you get a bad contract, retract. I cannot overemphasize the importance of the postdoc in physics or neurobiology, for example. The postdoc transforms you from a PhD student, emphasis on student, to an independent scholar or researcher. In the above areas, it takes years of experience. In others, the PhD is enough. Let me emphasize one more point. Your advisor, supervisor, and your peers in the lab might be your winning card for a lifetime. This is why you need to carefully select the people you will ride your horses with. Otherwise, you might be left alone with no social network, no recommendations, and no strings to pull you up for landing your academic career. And this is why we are here in the first place. Until next time, I am Professor Gad Yair.